The world's a dangerous place. Get the industry's original and most trusted laser sighting system from Crimson Trace. A laser and light systems will enhance your effectiveness and help keep you and your family out of harm's way.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, it's all about training, the mindset needed, building your skill set, how to avoid a gunfight, and what to do if you can't. All that plus your range reports. Call in now at 866-TALK-GUNS. Now, here's Tom.
All righty, it's another Gun Talk. I'm Tom Gresham. Welcome again. To tell you what, we are going to have so very much to talk about today. I know there's some kind of sports thing going on later on today, but that's later on. Don't worry about it. We have important things for us to talk about. We have huge decision being made in the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals that will affect gun rights, perhaps all over the country. We'll have that in just a minute. A little bit later on, we're going to be talking to a noted firearms trainer. Said he's had 65 of his students through, he's probably been teaching for 40 years. 65 of his students have been in gunfights. 62 succeeded, 3 died. And the 3 who died all had something very much in common. You're going to want to find out what caused them to lose, because we'll be talking about that. A lot of things going on. Of course, you got to get your Gun Dealio app. That's hot. More and more people. I mean, we're picking up thousands of people, just all the time pouring in, picking up look, it's a free app. Why would you not get this thing? Put it on your phone. Saves you money, gives you alerts, gives you information, lets you listen to past shows of Gun Talk Radio. And also you can hear the after show, the very fun and cool after show. Just go grab Gun Dealio for your Android or iPhone. GunDealio.com also gets you there. Oh, we got new hats. Cool. If you like Gun Talk, we have new Gun Talk hats. If you go to shopguntalk.com, check it out. We've got the, I call them the adult hats and the not-so-adult hats. That really makes people mad when I say that. The non-adult hats are the ones that have the frayed edges. It looks like they should have been thrown away, or at least it looks like that to me. But people buy them, the distressed hats. So kind of depends on where you are. We have both types. But if you want a Gun Talk hat or the very cool and really subtle, and you'll like this, the subtle logo from our Guns and Gear TV show, somebody who doesn't know will look at that hat and not know what it is, and you'll know because you'll think, that's a trigger. And other people look at it and just think it's some kind of a swooshy, designy thing, and you go, no, it's a trigger. You go, oh, yeah, it's kind of like your stealthy gun hat. A lot of things going on there. Let's see, this week on Guns and Gear, we have all sorts of ballistic tips going on there on Gun Talk Television, which is airing on the Sportsman channel. We have the Bianchi Cup show, which is one of my favorites. You're going to like that one. Also, a little bit later in the show, we're going to be talking about how do you identify threats in advance? How do you avoid threats in advance? One of the things we have learned so much on our First Person Defender show, which, by the way, is up right now on our YouTube channel, is how important it is to avoid as opposed to getting into a fight of any type. And how do you avoid it? How do you identify it? How do you get away from it? And how you can pass that information along to the members of your family. Because, the best fight is the one you don't get into in the first place. I know that sounds obvious, but there it is. All right, we had a monster decision come down this week from the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals. And as with all of these legal opinions, it really takes a lawyer to explain this, but not just any lawyer. You need somebody who really knows gun rights, gun legislation, somebody who's been around doing this a long time. And we're very fortunate right now. Clint Monfort is joining us from the Chuck Michelle Associates law firm. And Clint, you've been involved in gun rights and legislation and litigation for some time. What is your initial well, first of all, explain what happened in the Fourth Circuit, if you would, please.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Tom. I'm glad to be on with you today talking about this big case. No doubt this is a huge opinion.
It is huge.
It is. So what happened was Maryland had passed a ban on common semi-automatic centerfire rifles, pejoratively referred to by the state as assault weapons, and also a ban on any standard magazine that holds over 10 rounds. And so after that ban was enacted, it was challenged in court, and the lower court had upheld that decision and it did so under kind of a watered-down legal test referred to as intermediate scrutiny, and it was even a weaker version than what that test is supposed to look like. And so the plaintiffs appealed, and on appeal, the Fourth Circuit said that it was an error for the lower court to apply that watered-down test, and it reversed the decision and instructed the court specifically to apply a much more stringent standard called strict scrutiny.
So let me recap this. Maryland passed a ban on the most popular firearms being sold in America. They call them assault weapons. We call them semi-automatic rifles. But more than that, they banned the sale of magazines, standard capacity magazines, those that have over 10 rounds. And so the Fourth Circuit, it was interesting. They specifically said the AR-15 falls within Heller, the Heller decision, because it is a common and normal rifle. And they said these are common and normal magazines, so you can't ban AR-15s, you cannot ban the semi-automatic rifles, and you cannot ban the magazines based on this. Sent it back down to the lower court. I have to assume, now this was a 3-judge panel, so those of us who've started to follow this, we're not law school guys like you, but we've started to follow it. We know, okay, now they can actually appeal and ask for it to be heard en banc, which means the entire court hears it, right?
Right. So to clarify a couple of things there. So it's important for folks to know there's been a little bit of misinformation out there, as this opinion has been talked about in outside legal circles. And that is it. The court didn't actually strike down and say the ban was actually unconstitutional, so the ban is still in place right now. But what it did do was it said it recognized, as you said, that these are common arms possessed by millions of law-abiding Americans, and because of that, to deny average law-abiding citizens the ability to acquire and possess these firearms and magazines in their homes is a very substantial burden on the core of the Second Amendment right. And because that burden is so severe on Second Amendment rights, by taking arms not away from criminals, but away from law-abiding citizens, that it is a must that the courts apply the most rigorous form of scrutiny to see if, is this the type of law that we should have on the books? So the case will now go back down from the 3-judge panel, back down to the lower court with specific instructions to apply that stringent test. Now, it's pretty rare that restrictions are upheld under that stringent test, but it hasn't been struck down yet, but it's looking promising that will be the ultimate result.
All right, now help me explain strict scrutiny. As I understand it, what that means is whatever the restriction is, if it's being viewed through the eyes of strict scrutiny, it has to be tailored as narrowly as possible to achieve the goals or the whatever the state wants without impacting other areas. So basically, it has to be very narrowly tailored. Is that close?
That was a very good description. You should consider practicing law.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. Do not throw me into that briar patch.
Well, I won't. No, you described it very accurately. It has to the restriction has to serve a compelling state interest, which public safety is always considered a compelling state interest by the courts. But it has to achieve that interest in a very narrow tailoring means. Exactly like you said, it has to be the least restrictive means possible. And so, looking at this, it doesn't take a rocket scientist or even an experienced lawyer to look at this and say, okay, they're trying to reduce criminal misuse of firearms by banning any law-abiding citizens from having it whatsoever. That's, by definition, the broadest possible means of attempting to, stop firearms from falling into criminal hands by banning anyone from having it for any lawful purpose in their own home.
Okay, so this gets sent back to the lower court with essentially instructions to try it again and use this more narrowly defined set of criteria. And our thinking, you and I are looking at this and going, well, that very well could mean they end up striking down the Maryland gun ban. If that happens, I guess the question is, no matter what happens there, how does this impact gun rights and these similar kinds of restrictions in other states and other districts?
Sure, I'm glad you mentioned that. This is a very key decision in that, to date, a couple of circuit courts of appeals had upheld similar bans, and actually there's a couple of cases out of the Second Circuit right now that are asking the Supreme Court to review those decisions. Mm-hmm. And so what this does is this creates a nice little circuit split. It's the petitioners asking for Supreme Court review can now explain to the Supreme Court, look, it's very critical that the Supreme Court weigh in here because the courts are split on how to evaluate these types of restrictions. And so while this decision only applies in the Fourth Circuit, it can be used as precedent in other circuits and lead to challenges of similar laws in other circuits, but it also raises the specter of the case from the Supreme Court's perspective and increases the chance that the Supreme Court will finally step in and weigh in and provide guidance for the whole country, which is really needed.
Exactly, which allows me to get on my soapbox one more time and explain the upcoming presidential election is as much or possibly more about the Supreme Court and how it will look in the next couple of years. Because if this case prompts these cases to go before the Supreme Court, chances are it will be after the election next year, this coming year, and which means it would be possible for the makeup of the Supreme Court to have changed. So whoever gets elected to the presidency gets to choose if we want a Hillary Clinton nominee who Clinton clearly says that the Supreme Court got Heller wrong and she needs to get them to undo it. So I'm going to get on my political soapbox there and explain this is exactly the kind of case that we're talking about when we talk about the makeup of the Supreme Court possibly changing.
Absolutely. You nailed it. The election this year is critical for Second Amendment rights for that very reason. It's been rumored that the next president might appoint as many, 3 or more Supreme Court justices. So that could change the makeup of the court dramatically, obviously. And right now, when Heller came down in 2008 and then McDonald in 2010, which were favorable gun rights decisions, obviously, those were split in a 5-4 decision. So it's very close, and the change of one justice could change the outcome of the case.
All right, this case we're talking about, by the way, is a Colby case. Clint, can I guess that you're pretty encouraged by this decision?
Oh, I am. It's nice to see a court acknowledging that these sorts of severe restrictions on citizens who take arms away from good law-abiding people are subject to strict scrutiny. It's the sort of thing we've been arguing in cases across the country, and so to have a circuit court, acknowledge that in such a huge opinion is definitely encouraging and promising. And I have to give credit to the law firm of Bradley Aaron. They did a tremendous job with this case. We had the pleasure of assisting with the amicus brief in that case, but they did a terrific job. And, we're all very encouraged by the decision.
Excellent. Well, look, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to help us understand this. It is a big case, and we'll keep checking back in to see exactly what develops on this.
Sounds great. Anytime.
All right. Thank you, sir. Clint Monfort. All right. 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here, or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. We have somebody on hold, but we have room for you. If you got a range report or a question, give me a shout. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
Every crossbreed holster is handmade based on the design invented by our founder. A Kydex pocket molded around your gun for perfect retention. Leather backing for comfort. Specially designed clips allow you to tuck in your shirt for complete concealment. The highest quality mag carriers and belts sturdy enough to hold any gun. Our holsters come with a lifetime warranty and 2-week try-it-free guarantee. Crossbreed. Conceal and carry the cross. CrossbreedHolsters.com.
Hi, this is Sarah. A silencer is today's most popular firearm accessory because it makes shooting sports more enjoyable. You're able to wear little or no hearing protection, and it decreases recoil, offering greater shooting accuracy. It's perfect for hunters and those who want more social interaction during shooting sports. So why are you waiting? SilencerShop.com is easier and faster than buying one off the shelf because they handle all the details, and they have the largest selection of top brands. Visit SilencerShop.com to find a silencer for your firearm.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from top gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
You're at a gun store and your phone tells you about hot deals. Want to know about special offers? No problem when you have Gun Dealio, the free app for your smartphone. Gun Dealio delivers the latest deals on guns, ammo, and extras direct to your phone. Don't overpay for your shooting gear. Get Gun Dealio. It's free at the App Store and Google Play. Trigger the deals with Gun Dealio. GunDealio.com.
It's time for the Brownells Trivia Question. Brownells, serious about firearms since 1939. Are you a gun know-it-all? Well, you may have a chance to win the Brownells GUNTALK FN SCAR 17S Dream Gun and a trip to the NRA show in Louisville, Kentucky, May 19th through the 22nd. Here we go. Who is credited with selling the first commercially available silencer in America? Reed Knight, Hiram Percy Maxim, or David Marshall Williams? To answer and have a chance to win, go to brownells.com/guntalk. That's brownells.com/guntalk. When it comes to firearms, Brownells has more, knows more, and does more, and guarantees it all forever. Brownells is serious about firearms.
Alrighty, back with you. Let's go straight to the phones. Line 3, Brian's with us out of Seattle, Washington. Brian, what's your question here? Brian?
So, got a story here about, I was pulling into a gas station. It's a two-pump station, so there was a person ahead of me pumping his gas. I pulled into the pump behind him, came out, went to the pump and looked over, and I saw his pistol. Looked like an outside the waistband, and it looked pretty interesting. I was interested, so I motioned over to him and asked him, "Hey, what kind of pistol do you have?" And I was hoping he was going to answer, but then he looked surprised and shocked at me, and then quickly took his jacket and pulled it way down across his pistol. So basically, it looked like I accidentally made him by accident. So I was asking, what's the etiquette if someone was actually open carrying? Is it okay to ask someone about it?
Probably I would want just a little bit more information, not from me, but for you in that situation of maybe watching somebody. What's the situation? You don't just kind of come up and blindside somebody. You might start a conversation another way before you bring up the gun. And after you've started a conversation, you go, "Oh yeah, see, you're open carrying. You like that? How you been doing that?" Then just kind of ease into it. You kind of surprise the guy, it sounds like, when you just kind of started off with, "Hey, what kind of gun you carrying?" He may not have, he's figured, well, maybe this guy's an anti-gun guy, I don't or what the deal is. It's one of those you might want to just ease into it a little bit more. Just a thought. I'm not sure there's certainly not an accepted etiquette on the deal, but like with everything else, maybe just kind of working your way into it a little more slowly.
Very good. That makes a lot of sense. I'll try and do that next time.
All right. I sure appreciate it, Brian. Thanks for the call. Let's see. Joe's on 3 out of Louisiana. Hello, Joe.
How you doing, Tom?
I am great.
I bought a suppressor for a 30 caliber, a 6-hour suppressor.
Yeah.
Is that a good one? A titanium one?
Oh, yeah. You got the high price spread right off the bat. What made you decide to go with that?
Well, I picked up another one. It was like picking up a brick. So by the time you put it on the front of a 300 blackout, it got pretty nose heavy. Right.
The titanium is so much lighter, and they're real well made. And SIG has been doing a real good job with their suppressors. Now, you know the drill there. You can actually use that on a 223 also. It's not going to be quite as quiet as one made specifically for a 223, but you can stick that on a regular AR, and that'll work there, too.
You can stick it on a 300 mag also.
I would be careful. Make sure check with SIG, make sure it's rated for the 300 mag.
Yeah, it is. It's rated for a 300 Winchester mag.
Okay, because for those who don't know, what you've got is more muzzle pressure or gas pressure in the Magnum, and you can, for instance, if it was made for just a 300 blackout, which is a very low-powered round, and then you stuck it on a Magnum, you could actually blow the guts out of your suppressor or at least reduce the lifespan of it. So if they say it's good for it, it's good for it. So that ought to work. Are you using that for hunting by any chance?
Yeah, I was watching it on, they have a little movie thing they're showing on a 300 blackout with subsonic bullets. Mm-hmm. All you can hear is the action working pretty much.
It's really amazing. If you use the subsonic ammo, it is so much fun. In fact, that's kind of next on my list is to go with I think what I want is a 300 blackout SBR suppressed. I mean, if you're going to go all the way, right, just go big or go home.
Yeah, because they had one kit there, had one for a 7.62 or 308. It also had another one in there for a 45 pistol and then one for a 22. It was $2,000 for the entire kit.
Yeehaw!
And it's $200 per suppressor for
for tax on it. There
stamp.
you go. All right, Joe. Look, I appreciate that. Let's run down to line one. Tim in Carson City, Nevada. Tim, I got about a minute and a half, so dive in, please.
Yeah, I just want to let you know I took your advice and I went down to Gunsight, spent a week down there, took the 250 pistol class, and it was an absolutely incredible experience. It was like a fire hose of information coming out in terms of everything that you're taught. We spent so much range time there. I think I went through about 1,000 rounds of ammo for the course for the 5 days, and I was so impressed now with the instructors coming back for the 350 class that I've signed up for that in April.
Let me ask you, I've said this many times, and see if you think, now that you've been through the class, you've heard me yakking about Gunsight forever, and I've made the statement, I said, this class will change your life. Have I been overstating that?
Not at all. You're absolutely right. It's a very humbling, sobering experience, and but the skill set that you gain in terms of where and how you need to train is unmatched. And the people are just phenomenal.
Yeah, the problem, Tim, and now you're going to have the same problem I do, because you're going to go try to tell people about a class at Gunsight. And people are going to go, yeah, I took a shooting class. And you go, no, that's not what I'm talking about. It's a whole different thing. It's a different experience. You get that somewhere along about day 2, maybe day 3, where you got that Gunsight epiphany. So, partner, you're going to have your work cut out for you. Look, Tim, thank you so much for the call. Yeah, the Gunsight 250 class, they call it their basic pistol class. Yeah, it's basic. It's 5 full days of pistol shooting, everything from mindset to holsters to draw to moving to malfunction drills while you're moving, while you're getting to cover, while you're taking care of your buddy, and then a little bit in the dark, a little bit of, I think we do a little bit of shoot house work there. And people say, well, what about these other, I don't know. People ask me about other classes. Yeah, there are some, I've been to a bunch of them, and the ones I've been to I can explain, I can recommend. If I haven't been there, I can't tell you about it. But this one, if you get a chance, Gunsight, there's a reason they call it the Harvard of Gunfighting Schools. 866-TALK-GUN, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Hey, just don't bother me. I got to play air drums here to the music. I'm having so much fun over here. You may not know, there was a time back when I had lots of hair. I was actually a rock and roll drummer. Yes, I was. Had some fun with that. We actually may have a little bit of news about that coming up. Who knows? There may be we may be getting the band back together here. You never know. We'll let you know. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Let's see here. Let's go to line 4. Kang joins us from Crestview, Florida. Hey, Kang.
Hey, sir. How are you, Tom? I have a very interesting comment to make, and I know you won't believe me when I say it, so I'll say it real loud. There are no gun laws in the 50 states of the Union. It is absolutely prevented by the Second Amendment. And there are gun laws around the states, but they're actually gun statutes. And the reason for that is a paradox. And this is a paradox which I've researched for the last 2 or 3 years. And I believe I finally found the answer as to why they can take away our gun rights and still have the Second Amendment around. There are 3 Supreme Court cases. I'll just rattle them off real quick. Stenberg versus Carhart, Russello versus United States, Meese versus Keene. And those 3 Supreme Court decisions say basically to the effect that when a statute includes an explicit definition, we must follow that definition, even if it varies from the term's ordinary meaning. So
okay, wait, stop. Way too much here of reading stuff. So what you're capsulize it in one sentence for me. What are you saying?
Okay. Well, I'm saying, even though I support the Second Amendment, I would not carry my firearms because the word carry is a commercial term.
Nonsense.
The word
nonsense. No, nonsense.
No.
Come on. I don't know where you're getting. That's insane. Keep and bear arms. Bear means carry.
Yes, that's true. But you know what? I like I said, I can't explain this in like 1 minute, but I can tell you that the teachers teach, nurses nurse, professors profess, accountants account, drivers drive, farmers farm, and carriers carry. A carrier defined in the law dictionary.
You're saying that somebody carries a gun falls under like ICC carrier regs?
No, someone who carries a gun is acting in the regulable act of transportation.
No.
In the sense that...
Sorry,
yes,
no. Look, here's the thing, Kang. I love that you're doing the research, and I love that you're thinking this thing through. But if there was even a scintilla of truth or logic or anything to what you're saying, then the anti-gun people, the anti-gun rights people would be all over this. And we would have heard about this. We have dozens, if not hundreds, of Second Amendment scholars out there. Someone would have come up with this. No one ever has. The idea of saying that carrying a gun makes you a carrier, no, it's keep and bear arms. Bear means to have with you, to go forth with this, to carry it with you, not to transport. That's a whole different thing. This is to have it with you. So look, I appreciate what you're saying, but I got to tell you, in this case, I think you're overthinking the problem, and I think you might want to go back to the books on this one. I appreciate the call. Dean, line 3 out of Granite Bay, California. What's happening in the California state, Dean?
Hey, Tom. I just got a Rock River 20-inch upper. It has like a short Picatinny rail in the back, or in the front, and one in the back. And I'm looking at flip-up sights. I kind of been checking out the Diamond Head ones. They're a little pricey, but I wonder what you thought of them, or if you had any other recommendations. Also, I'm looking at putting an aftermarket trigger, either a Timney or, I don't know if you pronounce it Giselle or Giselle.
Actually, it's pronounced Geisley, which is weird because it doesn't look like it should be, but it's Geisley.
Yeah.
Okay, let's back up to sights. Gee, why would we want to have good sights? Why? I love that people say, well, these are cheaper. Yes. You know what that makes them? It makes them cheaper.
Cheaper.
Cheaper. I mean... good sights last like forever, and you can bet your lives on them because you are betting your life and maybe the lives of other people on them. And bad sites are just bad sites, cheap sites. I am a real believer in having backup sites, and I'm a real believer in having metal backup sites. And that's kind of where, and the Diamond Head, they make good stuff too, by the way. People who don't know, those are pretty nice sites. I like those.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of putting an ACOG on it, but I want to have backup sights, and I'm not sure how those two would fit together.
Well, therein lies the challenge. Sometimes you have to do a little adjusting to be able to get your backup sights on a rail at the same time that you have an optic. But I like where you're going with this of having backup sights. Optics fail. The best optics in the world can fail. And, generally when does stuff fail? When you really, really need it. And when you can just rip that sucker off. Yeah, that's right. Murphy's always around. So if you can rip that sucker off and go to the backup site, you're still in the fight. You can still save a life. Now let's talk triggers for a second. I love the Timney triggers. I think they do a great job. And, truth in advertising here, Timney is one of the great sponsors of our radio show. So I like the Timney. I've also used the Geisley. They are excellent. Come on. We know that both these companies make really good product. So I would say pick the one you like and just remember who supports GUNTALK. Wait, or did I say that? I guess I did.
Okay. and one other quick thing. I've been looking at Torrey Pines thermal sights, and I went to the store and checked one out. They're pretty cool, but I don't know much about them. And I don't know what the resolution would be. I sent you an email on it. I'll let you read that and check it out.
I see that. I'm actually looking at the email right now. I have to admit, I do not know this product or the product line, Torrey Pines. So I would have, if I offered an opinion on that, it would be based on Zippo. So although I'm not adverse to doing that sometimes, but not this time. So I'll pass. I don't know about those guys.
Okay, if you could maybe have people call in that know anything about them, or maybe have
if anybody knows anything about Torrey Pines sites, give us a holler. Dina, look, I appreciate the call. And let's see. Oh, we got to go to a quick break here. Yeah, don't go anywhere. We're going to get back to you. We'll take a quick break. 866-TALK-GUN is our number here. And before you know it, we're going to be talking about an instructor who had 65 of his students get in gunfights. 3 of them did not survive. What did those 3 have in common? We'll be right back.
When it's all on the line, you can count on Trijicon Optics. Earning its reputation in combat and on hunts in all corners of the world, Trijicon comes through. The new AccuPower rifle scopes feature battery-powered illuminated reticles, variable power, adjustable brightness, plus they're waterproof. The years of waiting, the dollars spent, your hunt of a lifetime comes down to a single moment. Get Trijicon quality. Trijicon.com. Trijicon.com.
Who will you trust with your guns and valuables? Liberty safes are the best built and most secure safes on the planet. They sell more gun safes than any other brand. It's about trust earned through performance. If your Liberty safe is damaged by fire or attempted break-in, they'll send a new safe right to your home. Protection from thieves and fire. Trust the #1 maker of quality gun safes. LibertySafe.com.
Hardcore tactical professionals who put their lives on the line every day depend on Surefire. For decades, Surefire has built the first and finest professional-grade flashlights, weapon-mounted lights, hearing protection, and suppressors. We build the best because lives depend on it. And we know failure is not an option. We design, engineer, and manufacture Surefire products right here in the U.S. For you, for your loved ones, Surefire. American built, American strong. Surefire.com.
The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle combines features of the Ruger American Rifle and innovations of the 1022 Rimfire Rifle to appeal to all bolt-action enthusiasts. It features a modular stock system that provides comb height options for scope or iron sight use, a power bedding integral bedding block system for outstanding accuracy, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, and a 1022-style rotary magazine for reliable feeding. The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
I'm just as good as these guys. When will I get my chance to prove it?
Your chance is now. American Marksman is a nationwide series of target shooting competitions designed to give you your big break. Think you've got what it takes to go home with $50,000? Visit ammarksman.com to register today. That's ammarksman.com. American Marksman. Are you the one?
All right, back with you. Let's go straight to the phones. Ed's on 2. He's in Holland, Ohio. Hey, Ed, what you thinking here?
Hey, Tom, if you need a bass player, I play upright doghouse, bass, fiddle, and play a Telecaster bass, and, I like rockabilly and bluegrass.
Well, I'll tell you what, don't hang up when this is over, because I think Jim's going to want to talk to you, because you may or may not know that Jim's like just down the block from you there. Jim, our producer, and he's also a big-time musician in your area.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, seriously, don't hang up when we're over here. I want, we'll get Michelle to get your contact info, okay?
Okay.
All right, what's on your mind?
Hey, this election thing coming up, I think really the only people out there, no one loves a mass shooting and a gun-free zone more than Obama and Hillary and all those clowns in D.C.
How's that?
Want to take our rights. It just, every time, this thing in San Bernardino, he didn't call it a terrorist attack. First thing out of his mouth was gun control.
Mm-hmm.
So that's,
I know what you're saying. I may not have put it exactly the same way, but I think I'm on the same page, because what's that line says? Don't let a crisis go to waste. He is very quick to take advantage of that. It can clearly be a terrorist attack, and yet he says, well, this is why we should have more restrictions on the American people. And we're all scratching our heads and going, what? What? Wait. Yeah. You want to do something about the guns that I own or the way that I buy guns because ISIS-inspired terrorist? That makes, as they say, that does not pass the most stupid smell test anywhere. So, but yeah, I understand what you're saying, Ed. Look, I appreciate that. Yeah, and let Michelle get your contact info, because you never know. You never know when we're going to be playing some crazy music somewhere. All right, line 1. Frank is with us out of New Jersey. Frank, you're looking at YouTube again, huh? Talk to me.
Yeah, I tell you, Tom, it's just ridiculous. I got a thing on Facebook the other day. Somebody sent me. It's a
12-year-old kid with a shotgun, and it's supposed to be for gun safety, and he's telling you how to hold the gun, and all of a sudden the gun goes off, and everybody starts cracking up, and he was shooting towards a building. Everybody's saying it was staged, but that's not the kind of publicity we need. And the other thing that's really irking me is the fact that you get these people that put on videos with their girlfriends or friends, and they're giving them,
you know, a 44 mag. Yep. Yes.
Hits them in the head, and everybody's cracking up. I mean, this is serious stuff. I mean, that gun could, or an automatic. One of the girls had an automatic, or semi-automatic, I should say, and she's shooting it, and she fell backwards, and she's still shooting. There's nothing to laugh about that.
I would like to track those guys down, and I'd like to just slap the stew out of them because, you know, for one thing, what you've done is you've taken this person, this first-time gun owner or gun shooter, and you made them not like guns because you gave them this terrible experience. The other is now you're holding them up to ridicule, and other people are looking at that and going, oh, well, that's just funny. No, it's not funny. It's not funny in the slightest. It's the wrong way to teach somebody to shoot. It's unsafe practices, all the rest of it. Yeah, and the problem, and Frank, you allow me to jump up on my soapbox again, the problem is that, God, you guys are going to get tired of me hearing this. Not enough people understand the need to go get training. Everybody thinks, I'm American. I know how to shoot. I'm an American man. I was born with testosterone. I am God's gift to firearms. Yeah, well, no, actually you're not. And we see this all the time with what we're seeing with first-person defender. We bring people in, they've taken a concealed carry class, and maybe they've shot a little bit, but they don't really have serious training. And look, a concealed carry class is good for what it is, but don't ever think that you're actually getting real tactical training with that, no matter what it is. And we put them into a little bitty situation, and I'm talking about a little bitty situation. And we're going to be posting a video here probably next week of a guy at 10 feet, Keith, I think it was, roughly that, fires 9 or 10 shots and doesn't hit anything that he was aiming at, and there are people all around. You're going, wow, people. So, yeah, I take your point, and those things make me just as crazy as they do you. I truly, those things just drive me nuts. I do not like those videos. Lane 3, Charlie's with us out of Illinois. Charlie, what you looking for here?
Yes, sir. How are you doing today, Tom?
I am great. What's happening?
Well, I was out here in the woods shooting right now, where I usually deer hunt too, and it's got me a range here. And I shoot my Winchester 45 long Colt Model 94, and it does not want to group.
Okay.
Using a 250 grain flat nose.
Mm-hmm. You are, okay, so you're at the range. Are you shooting offhand? You shooting, what are you doing?
Shooting both. Shooting offhand and off of actually I'm taking a rest off of a tree.
Okay.
Well, still didn't want to group.
Yeah, well, all we know now is that you can't shoot offhand and you can't shoot rested on a tree. I'm not being unkind. Well, we don't know anything about you. We don't know anything about your gun or your loads because unless you're shooting them on a sandbags, front and back sandbags, you have no idea. Yeah. I mean, well, I know what's going on. I mean, and you know what I'm saying, don't you? It's not a solid rest, so you cannot judge your groups based on you shooting offhand or resting on a tree. You got to get on a bench. You got to have sandbag under the forearm, and you got to have a sandbag under the butt of the stock. It's all got to be rested in there, and then that's how you work on developing your loads. Short of that, the big variable there is, as we like to say, the nut behind the butt plate. That'd be me and you, the guy or gal pulling the trigger. If it's not a solid rest, then all we're finding out is, can we shoot? Can I shoot offhand? Yeah, well, I can tell you the answer to that. Not very well for me. Resting on a tree, better, but still not real well. Everything's wobbly. But get me on a bench, you get me some sandbags, yeah. Now, you know what we're doing at that point? We're taking the variable of the shooter out of the thing. We've gotten rid of the wobble. Now we can find out what the rifle, the load, the scope, the system can do. Otherwise, you really just have no idea. right, back with you. Tom Gresham. It's Gun Talk, 866-TALK-GUN. Of course, on Twitter, I'm at Gun Talk, and you can shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. Don't forget to check out our First Person Defender show. It is it's an online series where we take regular people, put them into self-defense situations, see what happens. Some people are great. Some people surprise the heck out of us, and sometimes we just end up scratching our heads and going, what just happened? Holy cow. We'll be uploading another half dozen shows here in about a week, so be sure to check that out. A lot of fun things going on there. It's instructive, too. All right, line 2. Frank's with us in Red Lodge, Montana. Frank, let's talk training.
Yes, Tom. I wanted to call and support and encourage folks who go for their concealed license to not only have the proper shooting training, firearms range training, but to have classroom safety training. And then equally important, in my opinion, is for the individuals to continue to shoot at a nice, steady calendar pace so that they don't become rusty and they maintain that muscle memory and the ability to have instinctive shooting. Because if they just put the gun down for a year and pick it up, that's not a safe way to go.
Well, imagine that somebody had been through driver's ed and learned to drive a car and then didn't drive a car for a year and then suddenly had to run and jump in the car and drive to the emergency room because somebody's bleeding to death. What kind of a driver is that person going to be?
And that's a perfect metaphor or analogy. If you go through a training course and hypothetically and run 500 or 1,000 through your weapon, and then if you go and shoot again every 30 days, even if you run only 50 or 75 through it, it makes you comfortable holding that piece of equipment in your hand, and you don't have to rethink everything. Heavens forbid the moment should ever come.
Yeah, you probably heard me say it. Your self-defense gun, when you put your hand on it, it should feel as comfortable to you as does the stick shift in your car. You don't think about, how do I shift my car? You don't look at, where is the drive? You just put it in drive and you go. Every control on your gun should feel that familiar to you. Whether it's the slide lock, the safety, the mag release, whatever it is, you should be able to operate that gun just that same way. And the only way you get there is by repetition, by doing it a lot. But back to your point, Frank, you have to get good training on the front end. And for those who say, well, I don't know. Look, maybe you can't go take a 5-day class. I get that. But do something. We have 3 great DVDs on our store. Go to shopguntalk.com. They're not expensive. They're just really good. We've got Concealed Carry 1 and 2. We have Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. And then we have the first season of First Person Defender. If you want to get that there, you can also get that for free on YouTube. It's still there. But do something. Read up on it. Get some training. Go to a local range. Spend some time. Take a 1-day class. Make a commitment to do something, because anything less than that is, dare I say it, irresponsible. I mean, you're carrying a deadly weapon. You need to be competent with this tool. Nobody wants to be incompetent. And the only way you get there is you train up to it, and then you have to keep your level up there as best you can. In fact, tell you what, when we come back from this break, we're going to be talking with a world-class trainer, and he talks about the value of this repetitive training because one of his students got into a gunfight and had to make a shot at 25 yards with his pistol. If you don't know, 25 yards is a long, long way to fire a shot in a gunfight. You'll be able to hear exactly how it came down, what happened, what transpired, all of that. Also, we're talking about why 3 of his students didn't survive their gunfights and what you can learn from that. This one you want to hear.